headed for the Seychelles. That's where our new home is now.
We sell them by the seashore.
Hey. That was some operation we had, huh? 9 years
I'm just
ago.
imagining Miller, like, trying to
Carving
tell
out our
Snake
own
that,
world.
like, you know, you've been gone for 9 years,
our own
but I never
future.
put away any of your clothes.
Took it away.
They're all where you left them. Everything's just the way it should be.
No, just the opposite. I turned your room into a gym. I've got a Bowflex.
I'm gonna rebuild it.
I've got a Gazelle,
Make a
like,
new
10
place.
years before they exist because the
Together.
Patriots suppressed it.
We can call home.
I sew now.
Yeah, we were dogs, all right. Slinking around out of Cypher's sight. Digging up whatever kind of dirty money we could find. You name it. We did it.
Even those really fucked up operations where we held up men with bananas.
Diamond Dogs. Our new home. A phantom of our former selves. Triumph. Death. We weren't allowed either. Yeah. I remember it all.
It was like it was yesterday.
It's like it was a few months ago, released on PlayStation 4.
All right, so welcome to Ground Zeroes now. So normally when you play the Phantom Pain, you know, instead of playing this part, it just plays like a video file that's just like a really quick montage of what happens in Ground Zeroes. So it seems super obvious to me this is where you were supposed to play it.
So yeah, how much time was it between Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain's release?
I want to say it was a little more than a year.
Okay.
I want to say it may have been around 18 months.
So for a whole year, what we're doing here today was Metal Gear Solid 5, and then just a lot of waiting
Yeah.
and guessing and anticipating.
It's weird doing this LP and doing it in this order because not only, you know, am I putting Ground Zeroes in a different spot than where it's supposed to be, I'm also actually cutting out a small bit from the end of Ground Zeroes because it's really apparent that when Konami was like, we need to make money, we need return of interest in this development quicker, and they had them cut Ground Zeroes out and make it its own thing. It's also clear that they had to add extra stuff to it to make it more enticing and like feel like it was worth buying. So there's extra plot stuff at the end that reveals stuff that in Phantom Pain isn't revealed until very far in. Yeah, so now because this is here, I'm excising that stuff because otherwise it like spoils stuff kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
How's it feel to play the traitor? No more war games. You're a real man now, soldier.
God, I forgot his last name was Libre.
Yeah.
Because of course it is.
Give my regards to your boss when you get home.
And you may have noticed that Chico pulled out like his headphone jack out from his chest. At some point later on, I'm gonna have to delve into the absurd theories everyone had when only Ground Zeroes was out. There was a lot of research done on that headphone jack in his chest and why that was
Well, it's
there.
because he was listening to his favorite song, Heartbeat. Most people wouldn't know it was out, but that's because the Patriots suppressed that as well.
Damn it. Yeah, Kojima getting one more use out of Here's to You. After he used it, the end credits of MGS4, but thematically it didn't make sense anymore because the ending it was for did not exist.
So for people wondering who these characters are, this is like a very direct sequel to Peace Walker now, right?
Yeah, this is, I forget exactly how long, but this is like barely even a month after the secret ending of Peace Walker.
10 days ago, we got reports that Paz was still alive.
She survived.
She was rescued by a Belizean fisherman who found her drifting in the Caribbean.
So what's the plan? Silence her before we're compromised?
No. I've got something else in mind. Our friends at Cypher suspect Paz could be a double agent. She's being held for interrogation at a camp on the southern tip of Cuba.
Black site. Nice. A slice of American pie on communist soil, and out of U.S. legal jurisdiction.
The upcoming inspection of Mother Base has to be connected somehow. The timing's too perfect.
The UN's nuclear inspection.
My guess is they're trying to corroborate Paz's leak.
We're an army without a nation.
Word of our capabilities gets out, and we'll have the whole world out to shut us down. Having an American private intelligence agency involved is bad news. Cypher's the ones who sent Paz to us in the first place.
She knows their true nature.
Right. Paz is our only link to Cypher. If she's still alive, we need her on our side.
I really do love that Ground Zeroes just goes and immediately assumes you saw the secret ending of Peace Walker, which took a ton of effort to get to, and a lot of people didn't even know existed.
Yeah, but like, the internet exists.
The
Like,
internet
you-
exists, yeah.
You could know.
I mean, Metal Gear's kind of always assumed you know everything about the previous games anyways, so...
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Ah, crap, we put it on backwards. Damn it. Redo it.
Trojan horse is in.
Do it right this time, gosh.
I don't care that it's raining. Keep painting.
This pirate crackdown's a go. Move.
This whole time I was wondering how that scene would play out if instead of that song it would have been It Must Have Been Love by Roxette. I think that'd be worth checking out.
So those bars that appear at the bottom, people thought those were like a really stylized loading screen. They're not. They appear in some cutscenes in Phantom Pain as well. Kojima just thinks they look cool. Apparently they appeared in... I'm gonna have to look it up now. There was a movie he saw that design element in. He went, that's cool. I'll put it in my game.
And that's how art happens. That's just how it works.
Pretty much.
That's cool. I want that.
So who's the other target?
That would be Chico. He's being held in the same area as Paz. Last radio contact was 40 hours ago. Find them both. Bring him back alive. Enter the compound from the south cliff. Secure Chico and Paz, then report back from the rendezvous point.
This entire opening cutscene of Ground Zeroes 2 was also the very first footage of 5 shown at all. Just this entire cutscene. I remember knowing that it was going to be released on a certain day, and I had to do a shit ton of errands, and I was just like, oh, but it's... the Metal Gear stuff is happening.
We'll send a chopper from across the Cuban border. You should be back at Mother Base in time for lunch. You'll probably just miss our guests. The only catch is you go in solo. The politically sensitive nature of the mission means backup is not an option.
Fine. I like some alone time now and then.
Wouldn't these UN inspectors, though, kind of expect to shake hands with the guy in charge, the legendary big boss? Wouldn't they be really upset? Like,
Yeah, you think like the UN people come and it's like, oh, but we were so hoping, to shake hands with a guy who just worked with the U.S. government a month ago to stop from, nuclear war breaking out.
I'm in front of the prison camp.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
Kept you waiting, huh?
yeah, you just said that at the end of the last video.
So yeah, the music in Ground Zero specifically is done by the guy who did the music for all the other major Metal Gears, Harry Gregson Williams, also a movie composer. He doesn't do the music for Phantom Pain, though, which is kind of weird because the style of music in 5 is fairly different from Ground Zero's soundtrack.
Was by Harry Connick Jr. Very, very different.
Chico and Paz are being held in an old, unused part of the compound. Get inside and head northeast.
So the other weird thing is because Ground Zeroes came out first, Miller wants to give you tutorial info. But yeah, like I mentioned before, the binoculars have a directional microphone on it as well, and there's a lot of guards who are very chatty in Ground Zeroes.
All quiet? Those new guys. You see their choppers? Who are they with?
Beats me, man. Green Berets, SEALs.
Those ain't no jarhead birds, I can tell you that. Some paramilitary setup?
Well, some of the guys are saying... You know what? Best we just drop this, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like the sign said this is Camp Omega, but this is just Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
It's just this. But yeah, we'll take a quick look around. Tag some dudes. This base has around 48 guards total in it. Mm-hmm. There's actually like a little leaderboard in Ground Zeroes for like knocking how quickly you can take every guard out or something like that. Oh, there's a little guy. There's a head peeking out. There's also a decent amount of stuff to call Miller about here.
That's the base's admin building. Security looks tight.
Still not quite like Codex because they only say like a sentence every time you press the button.
That's a flag.
You have to like keep hammering the button to get more info.
Marines swore an oath to that flag. They won't just let you walk in there.
We're not playing Capture the Flag, though. That's
the refugee camp. I hear it's where they hold refugees from countries like Cuba and Haiti. On top of a decades-long dictatorship, Haitians also face an ever-growing wealth gap. A lot of those people likely risk their lives to get out. The flow of refugees fleeing Cuba is non-stop. Some make it to Florida, but others are caught and sent to Cuba's Little America. There's the prison, full of enemy combatants abducted from around the world. Those detainees are held indefinitely without solid evidence or trial. A black site if ever there was one.
I can't believe things are getting so political in my Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, if you can't tell, Metal Gear fucking hates Guantanamo Bay. Also, if we hang out over here, Miller has even more to say.
We had no more than a dozen guys at Barranquilla. Some of them with barely enough gear to protect themselves. Now here we are, not 1 year later, over 300 men strong. But the way I see it, this is still our 0 hour. Once this mission's behind us, I want to pitch you some ideas about expansion.
I like that the amount of soldiers you have is the max amount you can have in Peace Walker. Yeah. Also, hey, in that cutscene where they scattered all their XOF patches, they actually get scattered all over the map here, and they're collectibles.
Oh, handy.
XOF?
There's 9 of them. Collecting all 9 unlocks some really cool stuff in Ground Zeroes. We'll see at a later point.
The xylophone or fuck off unit. No marimbas around here, boss.
Or a xylophone only band. But yeah, so there's only one story mission in Ground Zeroes, but when they released it, they're like, well, shit, there needs to be more content than just this mission. Mm-hmm. So they actually made a whole bunch of extra side missions that take place in this base as well that are actually pretty fun. We'll look at those in later videos. And yeah, the XOF patches, we'll be picking up a decent amount of them through the 3 different playthroughs here, but some of them will just pick up in a later video as well.
Now, what was that little critter running around your feet back there?
Oh, yeah,
that cutie?
There's just some rats here.
Hey, you got cute little rats.
MGS5 and Ground Zeroes have a decent amount of animals in them, but they're not nearly as animal-focused as MGS3 is, unfortunately.
Now head east to the old prison area. You can bring up the target's location on your iDroid.
Another interesting thing is because Ground Zeroes came out like a year and a half before Phantom Pain did, there's some mechanics and other things in this that got changed, such as the iDroid's UI is completely different.
Well, you just have a different model later.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Also showing that, like, yeah, everyone you tag, like, you can see them moving on the map as well. But also over here we have some mission info with some other shit.
This is the transmission we intercepted. Chico's call for help.
They won't tell me where Bigfoot is.
Cypher's holding me on a U.S. military base in Cuba.
It's pretty direct and to the point.
Boss, it's here too. We're at the prison area on the coast. There's some cages to the east of a big building. East an old grassy facility. That's where we are. Help me, Snake.
Their lives are in your hands. Get Chico and Paz out of there.
So, depending on how you play Ground Zeroes, you can finish it very quickly. Even if you're not trying to speedrun it, you could finish it in like 15 minutes. But also, this map is like extremely dense with cool stuff happening in it
Contact me if you
that
need
I feel a lot of people miss. So we'll be taking a look at all of that.
Well, naturally. You can even move their boxes around.
Yeah.
They'll think there's a ghost.
I believe it already happened, but, you know, kind of like on the middle left side of the screen, sometimes there'll be some text that appears to give you some extra info about something. Earlier it said that an enemy has left the area. So there are people who actually leave and come back in the space at times, like that. It's the guy I tagged that was driving the Jeep. He is actually driving out of the base. And he just leaves. I don't think that guy actually ever comes back. I guess he's done with work for the day.
You should move the bodies of enemies somewhere out of sight.
You're not the boss of me, God.
It's a little quiet there, but when Miller was trying to tell me, like, hey, CQC is good for punching guys, but I punched him out before he could finish it, so he actually gets cut off. You can hear Miller go, you should hide that guy now. Like, that's just a system they designed in the game where, like, if you do something before they're done talking about it, they go, and then go on to their next line of dialogue. And again, more really chatty soldiers here. Guess there's nothing else to do in Guantanamo Bay.
Miller's known you for a few years. He shouldn't have to tell you about CQC.
Yeah. He's just real nervous about the inspection.
Yo, you hear about the special ships guys have been pulling at the old prison area the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, some high-value prisoners or something. You get that duty and kiss your break time goodbye, man. My buddy was crying on my shoulder about it.
But that place has been dead for years. Now we got these, I don't know who's, bringing in enemy combatants from the States.
Right. And the CO is tearing his hair out.
Feel like I'm living in a prison, man.
Wait. Do you not...
Well,
Do you not know what this is? Hold on.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right.
All right, now let's find out the right way to handle this mission.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, there's a truck. Vapor Snake likes trucks.
Does Vapor Snake just love trucks?
He loves
He's a
trucks.
big fan of trucks.
Warehouse. Huh. Hey, boss. This is no time to go treasure hunting.
Vapor Snake fucking loves treasure, too.
You're not my dad. I'm going treasure hunting.
Keep low. You can check the controls on the pause screen.
So, there are locked doors in this game. There's no minigame, you just have to wait for Snake to lockpick them.
Oh, that's fun.
Now head east to the old prison area. You can bring up the target's location on your iDroid.
Alright, so while, you know, it's labeled on our map the area where Chico's already being held, where Just gonna go treasure hunting.
That rain just won't let up. It'll help you stay out of sight, but watch you don't get hypothermia.
So you don't sneeze like in MGS2 if you're out in the cold for too long. But you have empty magazines. Let's just throw it. Let's just bop this guy. Whoa! But now because we're in this mode, hop!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I did not edit that ding in.
Somewhere out of sight.
That ding happens
No one would
in the
accuse
game.
you of doing such a thing. Now, can you shine the spotlight in people's eyes?
You can. I'm gonna take this guy. And, I mean, we found a truck. It's got a big old bed in the back. I think we need to give this guy a ride.
Well, yeah, he's not feeling great. He's clearly had one too many.
Nix that. Ground Zero doesn't like it when you try to put men in trucks. And he keeps sliding. He keeps going. Okay, he touched the tire. He's come to a stop.
Okay, never mind. One too many is not right. Far too many.
So while you're lockpicking, if you rapidly press the Y button to lockpick, you'll actually lockpick way faster.
That's just how it is in real life.
Yeah, it's like when you get impatient with elevators in MGS1. So yeah, there's lots of storehouses on this base. They're the ones with red doors. They have a bunch of different equipment in them that you don't come in with. The C4, Vapor Snake's not into C4 though. Vapor Snake's into smoke. We're gonna take those smoke grenades. So I'm going to show you a great stealth technique that is not intentional. This is actually a bug that was in Ground Zeroes, and it's still in the Phantom Pain as well.
Well, then how do you know it's not intentional?
It's weird. So I'm going to take a smoke grenade, and while men won't fit in the bed of the truck, grenades will. I'm going to hop in the truck. There's some funky collision when you reverse trucks in Ground Zero, so you can kind of push bodies a little bit instead of running over them. Look at that.
Uh-huh. It's only humane.
So I'm going to drive with this truck. Now you see the smoke is trailing very far behind the truck. However, all the AI acts as if I am shrouded in a mysterious cloud. So I can just drive past these guys.
Causing them great strife, yes.
The most they'll do is go like, what the? There must be an enemy here. But they... And like some of those guys are going in a completely different direction because now they're suspicious of the unconscious body my truck pushed. So look at that. I just drove right up to this building.
That's beautiful. That's a wonderful gift.
Mm-hmm. It's great. So yeah, we'll just leave our truck nicely parked here, and then we'll go check out whatever this place is. Screw Chico. What's over here?
Nothing too interesting.
We'll find out later. But yeah, Venom Snake.
He's all about that C4.
He's all about that C4.
You've got explosives. They'll pack enough power to destroy their anti-air defenses or vehicles.
You just stick one down the back of somebody's shirt, have a good old time, make them cry.
So yeah, there's an anti-air gun right here. I don't like that. You can stick up to 4 explosives at once, and then they just blow up in the order you placed them. But we're just gonna leave that for when we need it. And yeah, we're gonna climb up here because they're not just gonna have one gun. Probably gonna have a bunch. Also, I like the way this is one of my favorite, like, maps in the entire game, just because it's really well designed. Oh, geez, I got that. But one of the things I like is that no matter what, like, vantage point you pick, there's always stuff obscured. Like, you can't just, like, pick every guard from one spot or every anti-air gun from one spot. Like, you can get decent stuff, but it makes it worth to, like, actually scout out from multiple places. It's one of the things I really like about Metal Gear Solid 5, like, throughout the whole thing, is that the scouting actually feels like scouting and not just like, I got to the tallest point, now label everything on my map, please. Oh, we've heard these guys, which means we met up with Big Boss. Hello. He's so wet.
Oh, just the billowing canvas.
Yeah,
the wetness
it's
and
cool.
the wiggling.
The one unfortunate thing is that while you still have like the side rolling stuff while crawling from MGS4 in here, you cannot do the hump the ground worm crawl.
Oh no!
Yeah, I fucking loved that crawl. I miss it so. I guess that's only a move Solid Snake knew.
It hasn't been developed yet in the timeline. It makes sense.
Yeah, like when I dove...
Was that ever good for anything, though? Was there ever a time when you wanted to move that slowly?
It basically not really, unless you really... It's basically the only real use I found for it, aside from editing really funny montages together with it, is, so if you were, like, hiding in grass or something, but a little bit of you was poking out, you could do that slow crawl, even with people very close to you, and they wouldn't notice you, like, adjusting yourself in the grass.
That guy was playing Metal Gear Solid 2, so,
oh, yeah.
That's how you caught him.
You can now either interrogate him, knock him out, or kill him. His life is in your hands.
Don't be so dramatic about this, Miller. You make me feel bad about this.
It's almost like I'm a professional soldier without a country or loyalty.
Trying to keep, make this feel a little family friendly for myself here.
Speak.
The map has been updated.
Alright, since we actually understand these guys, we can get info from them when we interrogate them. He just told us where grenades are and labeled it on the map. Nothing too useful, but some guards can actually tell you some really good stuff. There's like 2 guards on the map who will tell you where the XOF patches are. Also, if you press the CQC button on guys that are knocked out on the ground, you'll actually kick them. If they're knocked out, you kick them awake. If they're awake, you kick them to sleep. Something they fix in the Phantom Pain, but exists in Ground Zeroes, is that if you knock a guy out with a move that just like knocks them out for like 30 seconds, if you kick them awake and then kick them to sleep, that resets their timer and actually makes them stay knocked out for a way longer period of time. In Phantom Pain, they changed that so you can't just repeatedly kick dudes over and over to constantly reset how long they're knocked out for.
Well, I'm imagining that weird doctor from the beginning of the game one day just kicked Big Boss in the hospital bed.
Boss, we've been in touch with Amanda. We had her listen to Chico's call for help. She agrees with us. She said, I know my brother and I know when he's lying. She also had a message for you. I'm ready for the worst. Sounded a little too cheerful to me.
So yeah, other side characters from Peace Walker's still around. Although, sounds like Amanda isn't on base anymore.
By still around, you mean they haven't even had time to look for a new apartment yet?
Yeah.
That should be perfect for searching out the targets.
Another nice thing about, like, a lot of the maps, but especially Ground Zeroes, is that there's tons of ways to get into any specific thing you try and get into. This is when I didn't even realize for a while that, like, this guard tower hangs over the fence, so you can just hop over the guard tower. But also, since we need to look for Chico, we can use this searchlight.
Shed some light on the situation.
Also, yeah, you can shine lights in guys' eyes, and they will they don't like it.
Look for cage 24601. And that's where the important people are.
Was that Chico?
Yeah, I like that you can just get in there just by hopping over that. Like, I'm sure everyone basically just goes for the locked gate and just lock picks it, but there's like 3 different ways just to get into this place.
Very secure. Very good. Our secret black site prison in Cuba.
All quiet? Hey, did you see those guys' unit patch?
Yeah, box facing right?
That's it. You know, it looked just like...
You've seen it before? Where?
I can't remember. I know it had a fox in it, too.
I feel like I was a big fanboy for it a while ago, but they just kind of dropped off the face of the earth? I don't know.
I know. Now I know. Sonic 2.
Oh, yeah. So there's actually a gameplay mechanic in Ground Zeroes that is completely axed from Phantom Pain.
Ooh.
So we'll show it off here. I'm gonna reposition this dude. So while you have a guy held up, on top of, like, interrogating them, you can tell them to call their friends.
Call your friends.
Somebody get over here!
So you can make other guards come to their position. I feel like it can be kind of useful when there's a guy that you can't really reach, and, like, an easy way to take him out, like lure him over here via this. But yeah, they took it out from 5. It's only here. Yeah. CQC is rad in this game because, yeah, if guys are close enough, you can, like, deck both of them across the jaw, or you can punch a guy so hard he flies into another guy and then knocks him unconscious. Like, you could set up these guys in, like, a line and punch the dude in the front and they would fall like dominoes. I should actually try that at some point.
Well, time to spend a few hours doing that.
Yep. No, we'll just dump these guys over here. He's the same color as that tarp. Maybe they are just wearing those tarps.
And that guy looks kind of bushed, so...
Yeah, right next to this gate, there's another patch.
Another unit patch. Could there be more of them?
Have you ever seen a unit with only 2 members?
Go back to my country. I can't do this.
So we won't be doing it in, like, this main playthrough, but there's other stuff you can do with these other prisoners. And we'll be checking up on that later, because they can actually become, like, extra... Getting them in Ground Zeroes will actually do stuff in Phantom Pain.
Ooh.
Also, this is the cell where Paz was supposed to be. She's not here, but there is a cassette tape here, which is just music from Ground Zeroes that you can listen to on your Walkman. Anyhow.
Time for some action.
So I mentioned before that you can shoot out light sources. Since this is at nighttime, like, generally nighttime gives you a lot of extra cover. You can sneak around a lot more. Also, when I shot this light, I didn't know there's an explosive barrel right next there. Whoops.
Hey, you set a record.
Yeah. But this base is super well lit, so, like, there's basically no, like, bonus from it being nighttime unless you are in shadow or you shoot out the lights. Whoop. Shoot through those bars.
Maybe the Americans will like you if you just shoot all their prisoners, so they don't have to deal with the sort of legal quagmire that these people represent.
So when shooting out all these lights too, it's good to have these shot out even when I'm not here, because if other guards come here and they notice that Chico or any of the other prisoners are gone, they will actually go into alert.
Well, that makes sense.
Chico.
me.
No! No! Go away! Go away!
No, man. Let me out of here, please.
Get off me! Get off!
Chico, keep it down.
Go away!
Only take a second. Come on, right over here. Hey, you gotta let me out. You let me out, no! Let me stay here.
Get off me! Get off!
Chico, calm down. Calm down. Don't fight it.
I'm here to help. Now let me choke you out.
Yeah, when the first trailer for Metal Gear for Ground Zeroes was shown, and like this clip was just shown out of context, is like, what the fuck? It was like, oh, I guess this is the game where Big Boss finally goes like all out crazy because he's just choking out a child here. But then you get here and it's like, okay, the context is a little different.
I got Chico.
And Paz.
Not here.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Is Chico able to walk?
Hold on.
Nope, he's asleep.
Not gonna happen.
You'll have to carry him out then. Okay, boss, change your plans. Haul Chico over to the rendezvous point. We'll get Paz's whereabouts out of him once he's calmed down.
Mission info has
I've
been
marked the
updated.
RV on your map. Okay, now carry
So yeah, it
Chico
just said on the left, there's a shift change, which means now all the guards that were in their positions are now going to be moving around more and swapping with other guards.
Now, is that a timer thing, or does that just happen once you grab Chico?
In Ground Zeroes, at this point, it always happens when you grab Chico, but in the main game, there are just schedules where shift change will always happen. I forget the exact time, but you know, it's sometime when basically when it's bedtime for the soldiers. They swap out with the night owls.
So you can hasten it by tranking lots and lots of people.
Oh yeah.
And convincing them it is bedtime.
Distract that guy, because even though there's only this little outcropping to the left, those guys can see far enough to see me sneaking there. Man, I always wished that at some point Metal Gear would have brought back the Metal Gear 2 technique of making guards sleeping by hatching a baby owl to go hoot hoot.
Well, time for bed. There's no arguing with the owl.
Great. You reached the RV. Put the target down for a minute. How's he doing?
Miller, I don't see a recreational vehicle anywhere.
Chico, where's Paz?
You're saying we could get all this Dorito nonsense, but we couldn't get a contract from Winnebago? We have to say RV?
She's dead.
When was this recorded?
She's dead.
Anyhow, I'm just gonna listen to this more.
Yeah, alright.
No big deal.
Cool.
Okay, now use your iDroid to call the chopper for pickup.
So, we pop open the iDroid. Yeah, we can call for the chopper.
Select a landing zone.
There's several landing zones. Obviously, this is one we're going to use. But there's several across the map that are colored differently. That's just rating how dangerous it is to have the helicopter go there. Yeah, the more red it is, the more likely people are going to see that helicopter and then shoot it a lot. You can also influence how dangerous it is for the helicopter to land there.
Roger that chopper request. It's headed your way now.
Like, say you got into alert and all the guards went to one side of the base. The now unguarded area is suddenly a lot safer to have the helicopter land at. But while waiting for the helicopter, there's a lot of cassette tapes here of stuff that happens right before the start of Ground Zeroes that I feel is kind of important. So we'll listen to that.